You were basically the assistant linebackers coach under him, right?
Yeah. I mean, what was awesome about Coach Lee is he trusted me from in the early stages. When I got to Notre Dame, and I learned so much from him. Like, it's funny, like as a young coach, you think like, oh, I learned one thing, like this is the only way to go, like this is the system, like I know everything, and then you learn something else, you're like, okay, I really didn't know that much,
Yeah.
And then when I got to Coach Lee, I was like, wow, like I really did not know anything, like so he really, like, from the standpoint of helping me develop as a coach, helping me develop as a position coach, as a unit leader. Like, I was really fortunate to be able to learn from him in that way, and he really did, like, mold me in a lot of ways, into the coach I am. So that has been great to come back and, like, kind of put it in action as an actual, quote unquote, position coach. But he trusted me early on and gave me a lot of responsibilities, which was awesome. It tested me, it stretched me, forced me to get better, and the biggest thing is it allowed me to develop relationships with the players, and those are the things that, like, I mean, that's what it's about. Like, at the end of the day, it's about the players. So, like, the guys at Notre Dame, he allowed me to cultivate relationships with them, coach them, and that's what I'm trying to do here is, like, have that family feel, with the linebackers and the defensive unit and, the players in general. But it's about them at the end of the day. So that's kind of the main thing that I've learned from Coach Lee.
How are the linebackers looking?
Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah, they're a fun group to coach. Very smart, talented group. Easy to. I mean, they're hungry. Like, they're starving for more. They wanna win. They wanna lead. I think it's just about, for this group, like, finding a chemistry and making sure that from top to bottom, like, we want to be the leaders of the defense, and we feel like the defense leads the program, so we want to be the leaders of the program. So the expectations are high, obviously, and we have guys that have met those expectations and are ready to exceed those expectations. So it's really fun working with those guys, and it's a veteran group, for the most part in the 2 deep. So those guys, like, I've relied on, to help with my transition, and we put a lot on them. And like I tell them, I think it's like Spider-Man or whatever, like, with great power comes great responsibility. Like, those guys need to be, kind of the keepers of the program, and they have to move the standard that we talk about every day. But they've been great for that. And then we want to make it so that position group, like, I can step away, like, whoever's coaching them can step away and they can self-police and coach themselves. I think those are probably the best position groups, are the ones that when the coach steps away, exactly how it's going to operate, because they understand the expectations and they push each other, because at the end of the day, it's their, it's a players team anyway. So.
I think, like, people outside of Andy would be surprised if they looked at Anthony Orji's numbers from last year, like, how good they were. What do you think is sort of the next step for him?
Yeah, I think he's such a talented player, and he's very smart. Like, he really is like a coach on the field, and even in the meeting room sometimes, he'll bring something up. I'll be like, that's, great thought, and it's like that iron sharpens iron. Like, when we're around each other in that linebacker group, especially with the veterans, like, those dudes are asking great questions. They're pushing the group forward. They're pushing me forward, and Anthony's, like, I mean, he's no exception. Like, very talented, very smart. There's stuff, like, we have watched his point of attack tape from last year together. There's little things, maybe it's footwork wise, maybe it's alignments, or maybe it's his eyes, like, pre-snap, that maybe can improve, and maybe 1 or 2 more plays a game that he could make, or finish, and that makes all the difference. So I think it's just, like, really small things with him, because he is already such a good player. So from a footwork standpoint, from an eye standpoint, like, if we can just clean up a couple things, like, he's really going to surge this year. Obviously, he's already put together a great career, but I'm hoping to help him move forward in any way I can, just be a small piece of him in the group.
I think we saw Arrington Truesdell play a lot on special teams last year, but it seems like he could have a bigger role on defense. What do you think of his development?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really good this spring. He's working his butt off. He's very conscientious. Like, I could see that there's an investment from him. He'll come and meet extra on his own, and he's always asking me questions. Really inquisitive like that. Also, like, his effort output, I feel like, has been very consistent. He's an instinctual player, and he's a talented player. I mean, he's around the ball all the time. So for him, it's just a matter, and I think he would say the same thing, like cleaning up his playbook understanding, which has definitely moved forward this spring, and him being able to spit back hey, what's the progression in this defense? Hey, here it is, and he can kind of hammer that out, and he's been really, really good with that, improving that, and that'll continue to move forward. And once that does, like, that's going to unleash all of his his physical talent, and like I said, he's a very instinctual player, so that'll just add on to the type of guy that he is. Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
Good. All
Appreciate
right,
it.
thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah. Good to meet you guys. Yeah.
So, I mean, what are your impressions of the development of both? I know that you and Nick kind of both worked with the corners and the safeties. Just secondary overall, what do you think of the development of the spring?
Yeah, I think the DBs, their confidence is growing, the communication's growing, the understanding of the defense. Working with Coach Howell's been awesome, just with like his passion and knowledge of the game and what he brings to the table from a energy standpoint, a culture building standpoint. We've really developed some physicality and confidence in the group, which is exciting. And we've got some veteran guys that are doing a phenomenal job leading on the field with their communication, directing traffic, but also, getting guys up here on their own time to watch extra film and study and make sure that they're really pouring themselves into it. And so, like, Maxwell Worship's a guy that's doing a great job in the safety room from a leadership standpoint. I think Justin Harris, Jalen Mahoney, B.J. Anderson are some guys that have been in the corner room that are a little bit more experienced, and they've done a big-time job kind of mentoring some of the younger players for them to be able to come in and really make a lot of plays this spring and take the next step.
Gumbo made that play at the end of practice. I mean, what do you think of? I feel like he's kind of a high upside guy, but maybe needs polish. Have you seen him take those early steps?
Yeah, the exciting thing about any mid-year players, they come in and they don't know what they don't know yet, right? And Gumbo's no exception to that, and so he's getting used to going to class, and he's getting used to weight room and nutrition and the high level of detail that goes into being a successful college football player. And so when you're a mid-year and you come into that, a lot of times it's not just the football, that you're getting used to. But to play your best football, you need to have your life together in all phases, and he's done a really good job of that, doing well in the classroom and in the weight room and those things. He's added over 14 pounds since he's been here, since January, which is extremely impressive. And then gradually throughout the spring, you've seen him grow from a technique standpoint, from a confidence standpoint, from a playmaking standpoint. So I was proud of him and excited for him to get that interception to end practice there. Just from the standpoint, when you're a young corner, you're out there on an island and it's a high-pressure situation, and a mid-year guy can go through some struggles early on in a spring ball, and then it's fun to see them grow and develop and their confidence go. So he's broke through kind of that initial barrier as a mid-year guy, and he's ready to kind of take the next step. He's a versatile guy for us in the secondary, too. I could see him developing into doing a lot of things for us.
Just like Coach Lezynski, we were talking with him about his background with Clark. Kind of what's your history with Clark, and then how excited are you to be part of the staff?
Clark's a guy that I've followed for a long time. When he was at South Dakota State, he spent a little time at South Dakota State, and then I coached at South Dakota State after that. And so we never worked together, but we had some mutual acquaintances and some people that we knew and that got us in contact. And then throughout the last 6-7 years, Clark's been a guy that, or Coach Lee's been a guy that I've been able to call at any time when I need something. He's always been there, and it's not always like that in the coaching profession. So he's somebody that's always been genuine and real, and he's helped me grow from afar, regardless of where he was at. When I called him and needed something, he was there for some advice. And so our relationship's grown throughout the years, and I couldn't be more excited to be here. When he gave me a call to come down here, it was he's always somebody that I've always wanted to work for, work with, be able to learn from. So it was really a no-brainer for me. I will say I've been extremely blessed to work for some phenomenal head coaches. Whether it's at South Dakota State or Northern Illinois, I've really I'm thankful for the people I've been around. And I believe Coach Lee's mentorship, while I'm here, is going to be able to continue to grow my career and learn as a coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Maxwell, I know you're not a linebacker, but you do stand back there and watch the linebackers. What have you seen out of the linebackers this spring, how they've been developing?
All the linebackers have been doing really, really well. I'm really happy about them. I'm really happy to see the young guys coming along with the older guys, especially with Ethan Barr and Anthony really bringing them along. I feel like there's no real drop off. no matter who's in, like especially like when I'm playing with them, like I have confidence in every single linebacker on the team, like on the defense, like they all like are doing really, really well, and it's just really something that's really exciting to see, especially going into the fall. Like I'm really excited to see how things pan out, especially with all the linebackers, because they're all doing really, really well, in my opinion.
And like Coach Jackson was saying, you do have some veterans in the secondary as well. That's got to give you guys confidence as a group, right?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think this is the most connected our defensive back group has been over the course of the past couple of years. The communication is gradually progressed throughout the spring, and we're still learning how to really play with one another, and it's something that's also really, really exciting. Just the defense as a whole, like I'm just really excited, honestly.
What do you think of Steven? You know, the early enrollee safety. I mean, since you're in the position meetings with him a lot, you probably spend a lot of time with him.
No, for sure. Steven's he has really, really high upside. Super, super athletic. It's awesome to see him on the back end and kind of take control and kind of take ownership of his position and communicate the calls and whatnot. He has a lot of growing to do, but he's coming a long way, and he's gonna continue to get better and better. I'm excited to see how he pans out into the fall as well, because Steven's definitely as young as he is, like for as far as that he's come, for as young as he is, he's doing really, really well, and so it's really awesome to see him develop. So.
Are you in grad school now already, or?
I'm going into grad school this May.
Yeah. Why'd you decide to come back?
Well, I feel like I only have 1 year under Coach Lee's coaching, and I know that like after the past season, I know this season is going to only get better, and I know it's going to get better, and I'm starting to see that like in this spring, and so I really wanted to be a part of that. I also feel like there's more that I could have personally gotten out of last season that I want to get out of this season. I have a lot of personal goals for myself, but also I just have a lot of goals for this team, and I want to leave I want to leave like a legacy here, like at Vanderbilt. I want to like be here while Vanderbilt is becoming what it's going to become, which is like one of the better teams in the SEC. So I'm really excited for that. That's why I came back.
What are those signs that you're seeing that things are improving?
Just the way how we play as a defense. We're very, very connected. There's a different level of intensity and aggression that we have. Everyone's flying to the ball consistently all the time. Offense is playing really, really well. Learning how to use like our weapons and whatnot. The level of competition between the players and whatnot, it's upping. Like we're learning how to get to the edge and not over, something that Coach Lee preaches all the time, and we're naturally doing that. There's just a lot of different, like if you look at the film from last spring to this spring, there's a big difference, and so I'm really, really excited, as I've said before.
Cool. Thank you, appreciate it.
Well, funny story.